coffee cup here.
Huh?
Let me get my coffee cup. You want some coffee? Or
No, that's...
Yeah, coffee. You don't want nothing to keep you awake, huh?
No.
Okay.
What a day.
Well, I'll tell you, huh? Okay, now is it John or Melvin?
Mervin.
Mervin. Why should she call you John?
M-E-R-V-I-N. John McCauley.
Oh, Mervin John.
Yeah.
Okay. M-C-C...
C-A-U-L-E-Y. I go by the name John, except, legal stuff like signing my check.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But I was born with that name.
Okay.
Now you know why I use the John.
Yeah, she keeps saying John. I say, Mervin, is it Melvin, Mervin, or John who? I think we maybe have one of those personalities, Yeah. Well, we have a three-person. Okay. Basically, first of all, again, how long have you lived there?
Now, I was thinking that over again because I think all this time I thought it was 3.5 years and would be 4 in March. But actually, it's 2.5 years and will be 3 in March.
Oh, okay. So did you move in after Dorothea?
Oh, yeah,
she was 1985. Okay.
Oh, yeah, she was already home.
So 2.5 years.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Okay. Have you performed any digging in that backyard?
Just planting stuff, like tomato plants. I haven't done any...
Who else been digging in that yard?
Well, she's had, those people from the center that they sent on work.
Yeah. How about Jose?
No, he never did any digging at all.
Jose never did digging?
No, he, not that I know of anyhow. He might have done some. See, because around the first of the month, I'm not worth shit for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because I drink quite a bit.
Okay.
I'm an alcoholic.
All right. Now, the concrete, you know where the shed is on the side there where we were digging?
Yeah.
Then there's a tree, and then there's a big slab of concrete.
Right.
Then there's the little shed.
Yeah.
And then right in front of that shed,
there's some more concrete.
Some more concrete. It looks like about 1 inch thick.
Yeah.
About 1 inch thick.
Yeah.
And then you have the little circles with the plants in there.
And then in the, I call it a lanai.
Or lean-to. Either way. Yeah, in there.
There's cement in there, too.
Put down the same time the other one was?
No, that was put in when I built the shed, and that was 2 years ago.
Okay. You built that out. Like lean-to. That's the outer one, near the driveway.
Yeah, the one that faces the street.
Okay. Or lanai.
I call it. That's fancy word for shed. It's just to put chairs and tables there, for barbecue and stuff like that.
Okay. Now,
I did that on my own. She didn't even ask.
Did you put the concrete down there where those little circles were?
No. I more or less supervised it.
Who put it down?
I think she had some boys from the center put it down.
Okay. Now, was there any other open trenches or holes underneath that you can remember?
No.
At any time ever?
Not to my knowledge. There could have been at any time,
Did you know of anybody digging for sewer pipe there?
All I know is that there was no trenches, as far as I know.
Okay. Nobody dug any of them.
Well, it could have happened without my knowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago was that concrete put down there?
That concrete was put down, I was trying to think, between 16, no, a year and a half. One of them was put down a month before the other. So, but both of them been about a year and a half.
The one where the one in front of between the sheds?
Yeah. The one
because it doesn't look that old.
Well,
okay. Also, Dorothea says that was laid down maybe this year. And she was quite specific about it when I questioned her about it.
Well, it could be. I don't know.
But you supervised it.
I mean,
a year and a half
down there.
Year and a half would almost be the time when you moved in.
Well, see, like I thought I'd been there 3.5 years, so maybe it was just more recently. See, I was just trying to think of.
Okay, let's back up. Yeah. Was it put down this year or not? Let's get into specifics, Mr. McCauley.
Absolutely sure.
You don't know.
I don't want to tell you a lie.
Okay.
You know.
So you don't know when it was put down.
Well, I can't be absolutely sure. I thought it was longer than she said.
Okay. Now the last time you saw Mr.
I'll tell you how you could find out.
How?
By the center, you know.
What center is that?
The work release center.
From where?
Like that black guy that was there today?
Yeah.
He's from that center.
Skill Center?
Well...
On Stockton Boulevard?
I think it's out on 69th Street or something like that. I don't have the card.
Okay. We can find that out later.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's guys that are just before they're released on parole or just before they finish their sentence that they allow them to go out.
Yeah, kind of like on the job, the training, make some money and do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'd know because I imagine they keep records.
Okay. Now, when was the last time you saw Mr. Montoya?
Bert?
Bert.
I saw him Sunday.
Okay.
About noon.
Now, Mr. Sharp says that he hasn't seen him for 3 months. Well, 2.5 maybe.
Mr. Sharp sits down in his little room down there.
But he would know, because I watch how all you guys congregate, and in and out. Everybody knows when somebody is not.
No, the only reason I was out and not in my room was because you came over, and I was just showing that guy what wood she wanted sawed up, for her nephew's fireplace, and that's all. That's the only reason I was downstairs at all, because I haven't been doing much of anything with this owner.
Now, Ben, do you remember Ben? The Indian, Eskimo,
an Eskimo,
or Indian, or whatever.
Eskimo, Indian. There's never been an Eskimo or an Indian there, but I know.
Well, his name was Ben. Maybe he's Mexican Indian. I don't know. Mestizo. I don't. It's hard to.
I don't know most of these guys' names because they're not there very long.
Okay. Well, Dorothea says Ben was there for 2 months.
Was he there that long?
And said everybody. And even said that he
the only guy I can really remember because he was a hemophiliac was a guy named Bill. See. Now, that's the only guy I really remember by name.
What happened to Bill?
I think he went to some alcohol treatment center. I'm not sure about that.
Was Dorothea serving as a payee?
For him, no. Okay. No, he used to take his own medicine, He used to make himself sick so he'd get into a hospital out here at QCD.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got too much and she had to leave. Had to ask him to leave. That, and he was hoarding these Tylenol pills, and she was afraid that he might be giving some to, niece.
Who?
Dorothea's niece.
Brenda?
Brenda.
When was the last time she was around?
Well, the last time, I don't know whether it was you or her parole officer or somebody come and picked her up. And she swore that Dorothea had turned her in, and she hadn't, But after all, what she expects every time she comes down, she gets tested dirty.
Brenda, and then it was Jose Gonzalez. That's who she was hanging around with. Did you remember him?
I remember a guy.
Jose, the old, about 50-year-old Mexican guy.
Is that what his name was?
She and Brenda was hanging around him.
I don't know, but I know.
Remember they got busted?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody called them and said, hey, they're the ones that were involved in some homicide.
I was in the kitchen, when they just walked right in and busted her all to hell. And she swore that Dorothea had turned her in, and she hadn't.
Not only that, as she mentioned the fact that Dorothea was putting people in the backyard.
Really?
At that time. Well,
John. I seem to remember Dorothea saying somebody came over with sensors or something.
Dorothea tell you that? Looking for bodies?
Something like that. I don't know whether they were going to, or... I mean, it was just off the top of her head.
Was that right after Brenda had been arrested? How long ago was that, this year?
Oh, geez, I couldn't tell you. My memory for facts like that is very bad. But
do you remember her mentioning something?
It has to have been after she was... I don't know. She was busted a couple of times.
Okay, but you remember Dorothea telling you that...
Something about...
They came over with sensors?
No, what she did... I don't know whether she said they came over with sensors or they were going to come over with sensors, but she said, you know what? She told me that Brenda had said something about bodies in the backyard. See? And I
What'd
said,
she think of that?
That's crazy. I said, that's crazy. What's she trying to do? For some imagined wrong that she was supposed to do? Because
you thought she was being vindictive is what she was doing.
Yeah, well, because, Dorothea sends packages to some of the girls down in prison, whenever she can.
Right.
And they'd call her, until Brenda was spreading all these lies about her.
About what? About doing what? About killing people and burying them in their backyard?
Well, she didn't specifically say that, but she did say something about that Dorothea was giving Brenda drugs. And Dorothea won't even keep, anything but her sleeping pills in the house or whatever the doctor gives her, And she made a point of telling me, because, see, I used to take Tylenol 3 for my arthritis until they put me on that ibuprofen. And she told me to make sure I didn't give Brenda any of those.
Now, when was that? This year? Early part of this year?
Well, Brenda was staying there at that time.
What time then?
I don't know. I think she stayed there twice.
This year?
Yeah, I think it was this year.
And it was that time that Dorothea had come to you and said, hey, she's spreading lies that supposedly there are people in my backyard, or I'm giving her drugs and there's people in our backyard.
Yeah, it was something like that. It's hard to recall or call it.
See, the thing that doesn't make sense, Mr. McCauley, is the fact that I've got two people that say they haven't seen Mr. Montoya. That was the one social worker who kept in good contact with him. He'd gone over to detox and said, I don't want to live at Dorothea's anymore. She's been trying to get a hold of him all this time to where she said, wait a minute, nothing seems right. Something is definitely wrong. He never told her about relatives or anybody. He's from Costa Rica. My question...
He told me that he wanted to go home to Costa Rica.
But he was mentally ill. How could he? He couldn't even do anything, let alone... Even the social worker says this guy couldn't even... He didn't know how to do anything, let alone get on a bus and go anywhere. That whole thing about Mexico, that's a crock of shit.
Well,
that is a crock of garbage.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Because I didn't see him leave that time. But I did see him leave this time. And it was in a darkish color.
What was he dressed in? You don't know.
You don't notice things like that.
Okay. Because
I noticed
all of a sudden,
I tell you, the guy he left with was a little shorter than me, and I'm 5'8". He was a little thinner than me, and I was trying to see. I think he had a mustache. I'm not absolutely sure. One of those pinky ones, like the Mexicans wear.
Do you gamble?
No, not anymore.
How about Mr. Kelly?
Who?
Mr. Kelly that lives there. Is it Kelly that lives down there?
Oh, Pat?
Pat?
If he does, I don't know about it.
Has anybody recently been up gambling?
He might have been. I don't know.
When?
I don't.
Where does he go if he usually gambles?
I don't know that he does gamble.
Okay.
The only one that I do know gambles is John Sharp, and he gambles up at George Ann's. You know, the...
Okay. Do they ever go like to South Lake Tahoe or to Reno?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
They might have, but... see, I don't keep tabs on those people. Because I don't... well, Mr. Sharp, I don't like to begin with. And I'm telling you how...
Well, Mr. Sharp has talked to us and said a few things. Number one is he said that Dorothea asked him to lie when the officer was there. That she would return him with some favors, do some things for him, make things pleasant for him.
Because I think that might be a little vindictive, too, because I think she's asked him to move. Because there was one guy there that... I think it was, well, one of those welfare agents sent over, you know, and he only stayed the one night. I don't even remember his name, but I do remember he had to use a crutch, and he lied to Dorothea about going out, going to look for a job or going out and doing whatever he was supposed to, you know, and she threw him out right away because she won't stand people.
When was Mr. Sharp?
And he's called several times harassing her.
Who, Sharp?
No.
This other guy?
That other guy.
When was Sharp asked to move?
I don't know. Dorothea just said she'd asked him to move Saturday. See, I try and stay out of as much of her business as I can.
Okay. But here again is the problem.
It's not my place, you know. I'm just a tenant.
Okay. I'm going to ask you again, do you know anything about that body in the backyard, or do you know anything about any other bodies in the backyard? Now, the bottom line is this, Mr. McCauley. I believe there are other bodies in the backyard.
You do?
Yes.
I don't see how they could have got there.
Well,
but
just like this one here, I'm hearing the same thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you know, I had no idea there was any kind of a body back there.
All right. You've been there longer than anybody. You were a relative of Dorothea's.
Well, very distant.
Okay.
We don't even acknowledge it. I'm a relative of hers like Mexicans are interrelated. I mean, I never traded on her relationship to me. I pay her my rent. I pay my own way. And if I do a little bit of work around the house, maybe she'll buy me cigarettes or a beer or two or something like that. But I don't ask for any favors. I pay my full rent. I mind my own business. If I can help her do just a little something, I do.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. Point blank.
Sure.
Did you kill anybody on those premises?
No.
Okay. Number two.
I don't know of anybody having been killed on those premises.
Okay. And you've never assisted anybody in any form or way, nor have you ever dug a hole to allow a body to be placed in.
Any hole I dug wouldn't cover a body.
Nor do you have any knowledge of anybody being in there.
I have no knowledge of whatsoever of anybody ever being.
And you swear that the last time you saw Mr. Montoya was Sunday.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to do is get a hold of the Costa Rican government, which we're pretty good
Well,
with.
I don't know where he was
Dorothea says Costa Rica. I said, how'd you know? And then I said, why didn't you...
Well, I know he's been talking about wanting to go back to Costa Rica. But now whether he's gone back there or not, I have no idea.
And relatives, I mean, we've gotten some... I mean, we've received some things the social worker has that is just terribly out of character. Totally out of character.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
Do you have any knowledge that Dorothea might be involved in something like this?
No, I have no knowledge of
Okay.
I don't.
You know that withholding knowledge or anything on your part places you right with her.
If I know anything, I'd tell you.
Well, something is desperately wrong here.
Huh?
Something is desperately wrong.
Well, whatever's wrong, I don't know about.
Okay. Would you be willing to take a polygraph test?
Sure.
Okay. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah, I've taken one before.
Okay.
As a condition of employment once.
Oh, okay. What we'd like to do is set up to where you would take a polygraph, because we have to do this. It's a matter of routine. We've got to find out, because somebody is lying to me. I've got I've got facts.
I've heard all these different stories.
At one time or another.
At one time or another.
That people were being buried in the backyard by Dorothea.
Well, it first started, I think, a long time ago when...
How long?
a couple of years ago.
Okay.
When this, let's see, I think it's her nephew's sister and her husband were living downstairs, and they weren't getting along with, they couldn't get along with anybody. He'd take off and all that kind of stuff. And then she'd accuse Dorothea of all these wildest things.
Of burying people?
I don't know whether she might have said that.
What did she say, if you can remember? The best to your knowledge.
She didn't say them to me. She said them to Dorothea, and I had to just be able to tell you secondhand.
Okay.
See? So
she said them to Dorothea, and Dorothea told you.
Well,
all these wild things about it.
Yeah, and finally they, Ricardo, her nephew that owns the house, you know, Dorothea signed it over to him when she went to prison. He finally had to get them evicted by court order because, I don't know, he was taken off, and he had another girl on the side, and she's there, and Dorothea...
That's Dorothea's nephew who owns the property.
Well, I don't know their exact arrangement, but I think when she went to prison, she signed it over to him.
Okay, as far as you know, who owns the property?
As far as I know, Ricardo owns the property.
And then Dorothea has been, she says, lease.
Yeah, well, back lease or whatever it is. I think she's, you know, one of those lease arrangements where you get it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. And then everyone just kind of subrents.
And then she pays the taxes and the mortgage, or gives him the money for the taxes and the mortgage.
Okay. And all the utilities are in her name.
Utilities and water bill and...
but you know nothing. You know nothing about...
I have no knowledge of anybody... anybody burying anybody.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me see what we're...
Okay.
Just try to relax. No water? You don't want anything?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay. Hey, oh, John, let's come out of here. I'm going to talk to her again. No, there. Get my shirt. Just wait right out in the lobby there, John, please. It's down on the front steps, but don't shut the door behind you. It'll lock you out. If you get shut, hit that little button. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You have a smoke right out here in the veranda. Okay. One thing I need to ask you is, we'd like to dig some more. Okay? Mm-hmm. And that might entail digging up that concrete where those flowers are.
That's okay.
Okay. Do you have any problem with us digging or?
No.
None whatsoever? Okay. Because you don't have to let us.
Look, I want to get this over with.
Okay. What else? How do you get a hold of your nephew? How can we get a hold of him also?
Ricardo Orderica. He works at the Clarion.
Clarion Hotel?
But he's not there right now.
How about a home phone or anything?
428. Just a minute. 428-1471.
1471. Okay. His name is Ricardo. Okay. I'll talk with John and enlighten us into a couple other areas. Okay, but basically that's what we want to do. And if there is, like I said, if there is a point where everything has to be replaced and everything, I think the city will bear that burden of taking care of that. But I'd like to get a hold of Ricardo and advise him also what we'd like to do to the property and see if that's okay with him.
It's okay because he let me put it up. I paid for all of that.
Okay, all that concrete and shed and...
Because I didn't have enough storage space, you know. And I just can't do the yard work anymore.
Okay. All right. Now, your niece, Brenda, she was living with you this year?
No, a year ago September.
Okay. Was Jose living there with her also?
No.
Oh, she just still was hanging around him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How well do you know Jose?
Not very well.
Okay, because I know, when you mention Jose, and I think I know who Jose was. I arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he and Brenda were in the little, remember we picked them up, Brenda and Jose, down at his place? We brought him in. Did she ever tell you about that?
I haven't talked to her since then.
Since a year and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
Has it been a year and a half?
A year ago September.
A year, so it's been a year and a month approximately.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 months. Okay. Okie dokie.
Will you?
At any point,
Are you going to let me go, or do I have to stay here?
no, more than likely, we'll let you take on back, and we'll furnish you some ride. Now,
I'll take a cab. I mean, it's bad enough.
we can even give you a free cab back. It doesn't matter to us.
Can John and I go back together?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, we might have to talk with him a little bit more. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, have you ever talked to John about people, maybe like Brenda, accusing you of maybe putting people in the backyard or anything? Did that ever surface?
Yes.
When was that?
She told me that if I didn't let her stay there, that she was going to say that.
When was that?
A couple of years ago.
Okay. She said if that she was that what? She was going to say that that you were burying people in the backyard if you didn't let her stay there. So she was kind of extorting you.
Yes, she was.
And what'd you tell her? Go to hell?
Yes. In fact, I turned her in.
On what?
When she came home, I let her come from prison and stay there for a few days. And she was using drugs. I don't believe in drugs.
Okay.
I don't smoke. Well, this year I was nervous and I was out there picking myself. I take my heart medication, my thyroid, my hormone, that kind of medication. John and anybody that stayed there can tell you that I don't allow drugs.
Okay.
In fact, I don't even allow smoking.
So she did threaten you sometime back that, hey, I'm going to tell the police, threaten your life, and then tell you better let me stay here. I want to tell the police you're burying people in your backyard? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you thought hogwash. And then you said no, she wasn't staying there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you ever tell John that?
John knows that she said that to me.
Was he ever present?
In fact, he picked her up off the floor a couple of times, off the bed. Not off the bed, but she kept falling out of bed. And we finally, I asked John to help me because I can't lift anything heavy. And I put a blanket down, and he helped me lay her down on the floor.
Okay.
And then I called. She left my house. She got out on a Saturday, and she was supposed to report Monday. She left Sunday morning to go see whoever, and she didn't come back until Wednesday night, and that's when we were up all night with her.
Do you remember when she was a suspect in that murder over there? And remember that?
No, because
her and Jose were supposedly involved with the killing of somebody.
Oh yeah.
And we arrested them.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Was it you that called the police and gave anonymous information?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And it turned out that they weren't involved, actually. Because I dealt with that case.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's when I started receiving information.
Okay, but...
That was this year.
No, I didn't... it wasn't this year that I called. It was a year ago.
Okay, it might have been somebody else, because somebody called on him. And, of course, she said it was Dorothea.
Dorothea? On what murder?
No. She said, no. This was something where when we picked them up for it, she says, hey, I know who called in and blamed this on us. Dorothea did.
Oh.
See? So, but anyway, I wanted to...
But her parole officer did tell her that I called when they picked her up at my house, which I thought was kind of lousy because I gave him my word. Like I told you, I'm trying to get off parole. I'm trying to do what's right. And when I called him, they promised me they wouldn't tell her that I called because I said, as soon as he says, when she shows up, will you call? And I said, yes. And I did. And when they came, they walked in and arrested her.
Okay.
2 times they arrested her at my house.
At your house. And that was a year and a half ago?
They arrested her on September about the 4th or 3rd, and then they arrested her once before she got out, and she was just out a short time. She started using and burnt my rug and all
Now,
kinds of stuff.
Was Jose at your house a lot?
No, he just came and did some work. I only met him through her I let her have him call her. I let him call her collect there one time when he was someplace. And then, I didn't know he was in prison at that time. And he came and did some work for me.
Okay.
Now, they could have killed somebody, you know. Although they were never at the house at the same time together. But Brenda's a real bad heroin addict. In fact, I think they're looking for her now. Because somebody came to the house the other day looking for her. But I wasn't home. Do you speak Spanish?
Some.
All right, because my nephew, he speaks English, but he...
Rather speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, let me go give him a call. You hang tight. Dorothea.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Jose?
Yeah. Was the murderer by the name of Ed Williams?
What do you mean the murderer?
You said that they were involved in a murder. Was that Ed Williams?
No. Why, do you know of anything they've been involved in?
Yeah, Jose was working and staying with Ed Williams at 25th and J. He was taking care of him.
Oh, yeah, the old man, Ed Williams. No, Ed Williams was there.
Oh.
He was just, what happened is Ed finally went to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
think we're going to get ready to send you back. You want to ride back with him? I'll get him. Just sit here, and I'll get him.
Okay.
But give us a few minutes, okay?
Howdy.
We can put you in a. We'll pay for a taxi cab if that's fine for both of you. And that way it'll save. You know, the trip. Well, I'll be right back. Let me get the book. You want to go back to 1426, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get a book. And I'll get you all signed up.
I don't know why they brought you down here.
Just a question, maybe, that's all. He says because I was oldest tenant, longest living tenant. You know, all this time I thought I'd been there 3.5 years, but it's only been 2.5.
I kept trying to tell you that because he called me a liar. This is very nice of me, though. John Sharp told him that...
Yeah, and how can he say something like that?
I know. I told him, I said, it's because I asked him to move.
You know, it all starts all the way back to that, what was it, Vesuvio, or was that his name?
Yeah. And Brenda.
Brenda.
Yeah, he told me about Brenda. I thought, yeah, she threatened me, you know.
Yeah.
I was afraid. I did tell my P.O. at that time that I was afraid that she might try to kill me or something.
Yeah.
They're going to tear all the cement out and all the buildings down.
I know, God almighty.
They're going to do it today?
I don't know.
They're going to call the Carter if they can, you know, get his permission.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't care.
I told him that, you know, that you'd sign it over to him when you went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told me. I said, I imagine what you guys kind of like a lease back arrangement for the rest of your life. Because, I mean, that's the way I understood it. I didn't know exactly.
I was shocked to see you come walking in.
Oh, didn't you then tell me that you was going to want to talk to me later on?
Yeah, but I thought that they'd have you come down next week or something, you know.
No, he says he'll try to do it today.
Oh, to talk to you today?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of the homicide detectives was coming in, so...
Did you,
I locked the two front doors, and I told, what's his name, Pat, to keep an eye on her. Thanks.
Yeah, because I was worried about the house being unlocked. And
No, I locked the front doors. I left the back door open for the kitty cats.
I was worried at first that I was going to go back because...
Well, these things have to be investigated. And you
I can't believe they found that goddamn body there. He said it was only 2 feet down.
Oh, it was more than that. Or at least it looked more like it to me.
And he said, well, if it proves it was there before 1978, he says, you're in trouble. I said, well, I don't know what to say.
Between 1978?
Yeah.
Why, is that when you bought the house?
That's when I moved in myself. You know, see, my bedroom's unlocked, and John Sharp's in that house.
Yeah. Well, I did tell Pat to keep an eye on things, you know.
I was afraid that the house would get cold without the doors being shut, you know.
No, I shut the 2 top doors. Locked the 2 top doors. So it's just, the bottom one's open just a little bit for the kitty cats to, you know, to get in to get their food. And when I left, Pat had gotten up and was sitting outside there. They just strung, you know, that yellow police line thing around that area. And
I was telling you was standing there when I left.
then the Channel 10 come by.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Probably on the news tonight, huh? That jacket's dirty, John. You better let me wash it tomorrow.
I know. But it was quickest thing I could grab, you know.
Did they call and tell you, or look at your hand, how purple it is?
Well, that's just because I'm putting pressure on it. You know, back here, see, the cast extends all the way back here, and then when I put pressure on it, sometimes it puts a strain on it. Oh, it still don't feel good, I'll guarantee you. Teach me. Go out and get drunk, do stupid things.
Now, John Sharp told this guy here that I promised him something. I forget what the guy said because I was
he mentioned something like that to me. I said, "You're not going to promise him nothing. She's told me that she's getting them out of there.
I gave him
That we're supposed to move this coming Saturday or something like that. I didn't know your exact words. I mean, you know, he's asking me things. How can I remember word for word? You know, something you might have told me 2 years ago.
I know. That's why I told him if I knew I was going to have to remember, I would have tried to remember. I told him, bug my telephone. You know, put bug on my telephone.
It's hard to remember, you know. Like, he asked me when all this talk started, and I says, I think it started, you know, with that one that Ricardo had to evict. I couldn't think of his name, Vesuvian. I couldn't think of his name. It just came to me now.
And then he said that when he arrested Brenda and Jose for something.
Yeah, he said he said they were busted both together.
Yeah, and then he said that I told him that they were looking for him again, or for her. And then he says,
is she out?
yeah, but they're looking for her because they were at the house the other day, and I was out shopping when they came looking for her.
Who'd they talk to?
Pat.
I told him, hell, I stay in my room most of the time. I don't know what those guys downstairs are doing.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
He says, well, everybody's down there today. I said, yeah, because she had one that, and I couldn't think of the name of that center that you had that worked in. Now, I could have sworn it's been over a year since that cement was poured.
Me too.
But I told him one way you could find out is you could call that center out there and find out when you had that.
It was a year because Jose, they'll get it a year ago this month.
Was it Jose?
Yeah.
Well, I said, to the best of my recollection, it's 16, 18 months ago. But then I said, but then again, I thought I'd lived there for a longer period than I did.
Yeah, because see, I got out September the 9th at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. And I could have sworn I lived there 3.5 years. And I've told everybody that.
Did Channel 10 take pictures?
He had his camera with him. Yeah. So, well, you know, the police like to cooperate with the media because they can get some good tips from them a lot of times, you know, and stuff like that. So I don't think it was right that they allowed him to walk onto the property from the road.
Oh, well,
But he was taking pictures of the outside of the house and everything.
I'll be on the news tonight then.
Well,
yeah, I was worried about the cats being able to, you know, being locked in or being locked out.
No, they're not locked out. All the strange people there,
I didn't dare.
Floppy was on my bed.
I didn't dare talk to you when you came up there because you know.
There's nothing to talk about. Yeah.
No, I just feel bad that you're involved.
No, don't worry about that, heck. It doesn't bother me. They asked me if I'd take a lie to take a test, and I said, sure, why not?
No, they asked me that too, and I said, yeah, my PO is present.
I got nothing to hide.
I have to go see him Monday. I don't know how I'm going to get way out on Madison Avenue.
Where is, well, when do you have to see him?
Monday.
Do you specify a time?
No, he might come. I'm going to call and see if he can come to the house. Maybe you can I don't know, I can't remember the address, but it takes a long time to get out there on the...
4337 Madison Avenue, I think he gave me his card.
Oh, my P.O. did?
Yeah. His name's James S. Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5777 Madison Avenue.
How come he gave you his car?
I don't know.
This guy here asked me right off the bat, he says, can I ask you something personal? What's the involvement between you and John? I said, nothing.
Oh, you mean whether we were intimate or something
Yeah.
like that?
And I think he asked me if you'd lie for me. I said, I don't think so.
Huh?
I think he asked me if you'd lie for me or something like that. I said, I don't think so.
Lie for you? Why should I lie for you?
That's what I told him.
I got nothing to lie about. I don't know anything to lie about.
And then I told him, I can't lift anything heavy. I can't believe this.
And he told me he's sure that they're going to find more bodies. He says, I don't know. I think he said, see, even when 5 minutes ago, it's hard to recall the exact words of some of these.
Yeah, you feel my mouth getting so dry.
Yeah. Well, it's a very unpleasant situation to be in.
Did your mouth get dry?
You know, they asked me if I wanted some water or some coffee, and I said, no.
Yeah, I took 2 glasses of water. I felt like I had cotton candy in my mouth.
Well, you know, this is serious business. I mean, it's not like, you know, you were arrested for a traffic ticket.
I know, here I'm just ready to get off parole, you know.
Yeah, and this is something like this happens.
I never will now.
He told, I think he said something about the VOA was pushing it or something. Is what it was all about.
He says that Bert had gone there and asked to move from my place. I can't believe that. Because he's the one that didn't want Judy and them to bother him.
Yeah. He used to get mad every time they come up there.
I forgot to tell him that.
He didn't like those people at all. He did go out that VOA that one time, remember when we
2 times he went out there because...
2?
Yeah, because he wanted to tell the guy, I forget his name now, that everybody should find a home. Because he was happy when I got him his clothes and everything.
Well, you treated him like a baby. Your second mom.
Yeah, you forgot to call me that sometime. I don't know what takes so long.
They have things to do.
Well, he's gone in the car now.
What was he talking about? Book? What was he talking about? A book or something?
What book?
I don't know when he left the room. Didn't he say something about a book?
Oh, I guess they're going to pay a cab, but I just soon pay my own. I don't want... Then they said they could drive me back. I said, sure, I'd rather go back in a cab because I don't want to bad it up that the neighbors see
If
me.
it's an unmarked car, it doesn't make any difference. It could be anything. So they brought me in here in an unmarked car.
Well, they did.
There was about 4 or 5 black and whites by the time I left there.
When you left, there was a whole bunch of black people?
Yeah, there were about 4
What the hell were they doing?
I don't know. They were just standing around as far as I could tell. Didn't seem to be doing anything.
In the yard, you mean?
No, most of them were standing outside the fence. There was some gal who was more or less guarding the gate, you know. And there was about 4 or 5 blues, you know, boys blue. And
left, you know, all of the homicide detectives and the coroner or whoever it was, they'd already left, I guess.
Let's go. We're all going home.
John, I'm out back here.
Take care, huh? Oh, you got a little time. You got a little time to work on it. I think.
Photograph everybody. I'm sorry. Let's each get a photograph. You know how one of those I want to remember you're here? Go ahead and I'll take a photograph of you. Just stand right there and I'll get a little...
If I'd known that, I would have
Put a tuxedo on?
shaved and worn a tie. And put in my bottom teeth.
Okay, that's all good for you. Dorothea?
Did you get in touch with Ricardo?
He's coming on down. He's real nice of it. Okay. Oh, no film. Hold on a second. That was a blind for you.
He doesn't want any help. He wants to stay in F the rest of his career.
Don't whine to me when you say, "Oh, my ear hurts." The earphone hurts my ear.
I gotta go pick up the bowl.
Hey, Jim, is that recorder up? It stops there.
Let me try to explain it.
Okay.
See if we can get going here. Okay. Now, as I told you, your property there,
1426
F Street. We got information that there was a body buried back there,
Really? Oh my God.
and so we asked Dorothea if we could look around.
I went to her.
And she let us look around.
Uh-huh.
We dug a hole, and we did find a body.
Oh,
We have a body buried back there.
where?
You know the walkway?
Walkway? I don't understand. No.
Yeah, it's on the side of the house,
The side of the house?
by the shed.
Oh, see.
And so, what...
Inside of the casita? The chest?
No, it's outside.
Oh, outside.
Well, here's the street.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then the house is here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then the shed is over here. The shed,
Uh-huh.
and then the driveway is right here.
See, the right way, see.
And then there's another little tiny shed here.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes, see.
And then there's a...
There's an avocado tree.
Yeah, the tree right there.
Uh-huh.
The back fence is right along
Uh-huh,
here.
see.
And along here.
Yes.
So this area right in here,
Oh,
actually right in here,
see.
we dug right here. And that's where we found the body. This is the shed.
Jesus.
And this is a little lean-to. I just call that a shed, too.
Yeah. She
This is
put some light here. She put some light, yeah, see.
Now, she poured some cement here, too.
Uh-huh.
In here. We think there might be something buried under here.
Oh, no.
Because we know there was a hole dug here. And then it was filled over, and then they poured concrete over it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she asked me to put cement, you know. She asked me, oh yeah, do whatever you want. I'm renting to you and see.
Mm-hmm. How long have you rented the house to her?
Okay, let me think. 1985. She come back from
Prison?
for prison, and 2 years before,
Was she living there before she went to prison?
yes, yes. I was living downstairs, and she was living upstairs. She loved my children. I have four children, and she was so good to us. And when she went to prison, I ran to some guy, Mexican guy, and I told the guy, I ran to you till she come back, you know, because, like I told you, she was so good to us, you know, and I went to see in prison and Frontera.
Yeah.
Okay, and when she be back, I went again to her upstairs, and I was living downstairs, and then somebody told me that I have good kids, and the area is too bad for them because a lot of drogadicts or prostitutas, and they told me to why I don't move to another house, or, you know, to buy another house because the area is, you know. And I did, and I moved in 1985 to Robin Rich Way, and I rent to her the house. Yeah.
You rented the whole house to her then, huh?
Just a minute. First, I let my sister-in-law rent the house downstairs because I moved. I was living downstairs, and I moved. I let my sister-in-law, she's in Mexico now. She was illegal. Okay, and then she told me that she doesn't want that nobody come to rent downstairs because for the noise or children or something. She told me I will rent the whole house.
Dorothea?
And I rent to her the whole house.
Okay, when did your sister-in-law move?
Last 97 in February, she moved to Mexico. In February, she moved to Mexico. She was living downstairs, and Dorothea was living upstairs. And I know she ran to pension people, you know, to old people.
Renting the downstairs.
Downstairs and upstairs and upstairs, John, she has John upstairs. I know the name John.
Mhm.
John.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or two Johns, I don't know. I have my stomach like this, and my mouth, oh God, can't believe it.
Oh, yeah. Don't. I wouldn't worry too much.
I live here a long time ago at Joe's Corner. I don't put attention, but they told me she's something crazy. I don't know.
People at Joe's Corner told you?
Yeah, years ago, 12 years ago, something.
Mm-hmm.
But I rented a house. Yeah, before I go to prison.
Okay. She got out of prison in 1985? She got out of prison in 1985?
And September 9, yeah. I know because I went and picked my her to Fresno. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. You picked her up when she got out of prison?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you moved out in 1985, bought the house over on Robin Ridge?
In June.
Okay. June of 85? In June of 85? 1985?
Let's see. I don't want to lie to you.
Oh, no, I'm...
I'm so...
You don't have to be exact. That's okay.
Let's see. 86, 87. Yeah, but 86 or 85. I'm so nervous now.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I have the...
Did your sister-in-law move in right after you moved out? Or was there...
No. My sister-in-law, she was leaving. I moved in June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. She lives 8 months downstairs in my place.
Okay, so 8 months from February would be what, around... She must have moved in around June or so of 86?
Who?
Your sister-in-law?
See, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you said she
Yes,
moved out in February of 87.
Right. Okay.
Ricardo?
I moved to 86, 95. To Robin Ridge, yeah.
Okay, don't worry about being wrong on a date. It's not going to get you in trouble or anything. We understand. And when she got out of prison, she rented it upstairs again?
When what?
Dorothea, when she got out of prison, she went back upstairs?
Right.
Rented that?
Yeah.
Did she ever have anybody living with her there?
Yes, somebody to help her. Yeah, a Mexican American man.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing remodeling the house inside, upstairs, putting paneling.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name of it? No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was after she got back out of prison?
Yeah, he was living with her and helping her. And he was living there. You know, I don't put too much attention because I thought when I go for the rent or I go for asking her for mail or to talk with her after work, she told me that she's going to rent to some lady, to some man. They moved, they left. You know, a lot of people go and rent to her. She gave a room and board.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't put attention. I don't miss nobody because some people come and stay for some time and then go and then come and new people. You know.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you rent the house to her to? How much do you rent it for?
Okay. Downstairs I was renting for, $350.
To your sister-in-law?
To my sister-in-law, $200. And then she helped my sister-in-law with $50, $250 to my sister-in-law, And then when she took the whole house, $600 to her. I rent the whole house to her. I think $300 downstairs, $300 upstairs.
Pretty good price, huh?
But I don't know how much the people pay to her. I don't know.
Okay. Did you rent the downstairs to someone else?
No, just my sister-in-law.
You moved out, and your sister-in-law moved in?
Yeah.
Then when your sister-in-law moved out, Dorothea started renting it to other people?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. What we need, or would like, Ricardo, is your permission for us to dig some more back there. We would like you to say it's okay for us to do that.
To me, it's okay. I'm afraid I never been in this kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But you have my permit to dig in anywhere do you want.
Yeah.
I rent to her. I don't have nothing to
hide.
Because.
How long have you owned that house?
Okay, from 1975, September 1975. September 1970.
You've got a pretty good memory for dates.
Sí. When you buy your first house, you never the date.
Uh-huh.
Sí.
Okay. When we get done digging here, we'll smooth all that out, the dirt back out and everything. We're going to have to break up this concrete here. It's only about that thick, really. And we're going to break that up and dig down in here, where that hole was.
Okay, well, see,
But,
I'm with the law,
Yeah.
I know refuse nothing.
Yeah, but, we're not going to break up this sidewalk along the house or anything else. None of that. And we're not going to... Did you put the shed up here?
No.
Okay.
She put everything there.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I had to put all things in the laundry room, a hallway laundry room. I have 2 little rooms, and she told me, can I throw away the wall and make a room to rent? Okay. I let to,
Yeah, let her do
that's it.
make some changes.
See. She told me it's good for you for the value of the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the value.
Value, see.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told her, she was so good with my family, with everybody. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
But look at.
Yeah, I understand. Well, we're not saying she has anything at all to do with this. We're not accusing her.
Uh-huh.
No, we're not accusing her. In fact, she's home. You know, if we were accusing her, she'd be arrested or something.
Uh-huh.
But we have, like I say, we have found a human body here. And so now that we have, we've got to look more.
Uh-huh.
Because we feel there may be more people buried.
Mm-hmm.
There may not be. But we have to look.
Yeah, you see.
And that's why we want, since it's your property, we'd like to get your permission too. Even though she's renting it and she said, yes, we can rent it. We can dig there. We just wanted to get your permission too.
Oh, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, she doesn't have to allow us to search, and neither do you. If you don't want us to search, or if she didn't want us to search, or you didn't want to search, we'd have to get a search warrant before we could search. But
yeah, these things. Oh my God! The publicity. Maybe I will be in the newspaper and everything. Oh no, I don't like it.
oh, your name won't be in the newspaper or anything. No, don't you worry about that.
Please, no.
I guarantee
I
you.
rent to her the house and the sister.
Yeah. Yeah, you won't be connected in this anyway.
Oh.
No, that's okay, Ricardo. Yeah, I realize I've kind of thrown this on you all of a sudden, but it just happened today that we've got the information and went out and started digging a little bit.
Okay.
But the body has been there for a long time.
For a long time?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
So it may have been there before you even bought the house. We don't know.
Oh.
So, yeah. It could have been that long ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Could have been there before you even bought the house.
See?
What? Yeah. We're going to have... There's an anthropologist.
Anthropologist.
Yeah, the people that dig for old remains and stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're going to come down probably tomorrow, and they will do the rest of the digging for us.
Okay.
And they'll be able to determine how old
Yeah.
the skeleton is,
Uh-huh.
how long it's been there and stuff. So,
well.
I'll let you know.
Okay,
I'll keep you advised so you can ease your mind a little bit. And,
thank you.
And I'll give you my card before you leave here.
Please, I come from Mexico, work hard, I got married, and I have 21 years working at the Clarion Hotel, 16 and 8, before the mentioning, the name mentioning. And see. I was living in that block. I was renting an apartment in 1412 F Street, and then the guy who was living 1426, he offered me the house, and I bought it.
That was a good deal.
Yeah, it was so cheap, the house, 10,000.
Good deal for you,
10,000, yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got a lot of money there now. Yeah, it's probably worth 5 times that much.
5 times.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah.
At least. Okay, can you hold on for just a moment?
Yes.
Let me make sure we've got everything covered.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Really appreciate you coming down here.
We need to put up tonight early.
Let's have a seat in here. I'll come in. We'll go over a few of those things and jot down.
Milk help all right, John?
That helped a lot. 100%. That and not smoking any cigarettes for a while helps.
Okay.
No empty?
Your first name is John. Sharp? Mm-hmm. S-H-R-P? Yep. How old are you? 64. Okay. Now, let's go back up again and tell me when this whole thing started happening, when you said, let's go back to where you thought something was wrong, like you mentioned in there. Kind of, let's rehash over that.
Well, I thought something was wrong clear back last July.
Last July
yeah.
of 87?
Yes, well, this year.
Last July of 88. Okay, what made you think that?
I can't remember why I really got the feeling.
Did you feel uneasy, you mean?
Yeah, because I told this social worker from Camellia House, Camellia Center, that I had to get away from there because something was wrong in that house. That's when she had bawled me out because I complained about this Indian wanting to.
Mm-hmm. That was Ben.
No,
that was.
Well, I don't, his name may have been Ben.
He was an Indian then.
Yeah, Indian or Eskimo. He's from Alaska.
Okay. She bawled you out
because I complained.
because you were complaining about him.
Yeah,
okay.
about him wanting to
right.
beat up on me.
So you felt things weren't.
Things weren't right, and then
you felt very uneasy about everything.
And that's when I told the social worker I have to get out because things weren't right. And then I guess again I'm not definite on times. I just can't be because nothing has been that important to me to try to really remember. But it seemed to me like about 4 months.
4 months ago.
That Ben. Let's see, this is November, October, September, August. I'm trying to relate to when I got my SSI.
Think in terms of July 4th.
Well, that don't help because I don't.
Oh, okay.
At that point, I was only looking forward to getting my SSI.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think if Ben was still there when I got my SSI. I don't think he was. So I'm sure it's been 4 months.
Okay. Now, tell me about when you last saw Ben. What was going on that led up to him disappearing?
Okay. Well, last I saw him.
And now Ben is a male white.
Probably in his 60s.
You don't know what his last name was?
I have no idea.
About 5'10", you say?
About 5'10".
About how much in weight?
160.
Okay. What color hair?
Hair, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to his eyes or anything.
Okay. Was he disabled in any way, or?
Supposedly, I don't really know.
Okay.
He was a drinker. Now, his brother was there to see him a couple times.
But you don't. Okay.
I don't know what his brother.
Does Fink sound like the right?
Well, it rings a bell of some kind, but I don't know what it was then. Like I say, I don't know anybody except for the first names.
Okay.
I've been there 11 months, and Homer, him and I were good friends, and I don't even know Homer's last name.
So you've been there a total of 11 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you see Ben about 4 months ago, and what was the incident you see about?
Well, he got pretty drunk and was in his room next to mine. And I had mentioned to Dorothea then, I said, now you've got a true alcoholic on your hands. I said, he's going to be stealing your liquor upstairs, because, she's got all kinds of it. And she said, he's already stealing it. He said he stole about 3 bottles already. But anyway, he was in his room downstairs, and he just kept getting drunker and drunker. I guess he'd go out. I never paid that much attention to when he'd go out or anything, but I'd hear him, go out. And finally, after he's been there drunk about 4 days, she came down and said she's going to take him upstairs and get him to feeling better. And that's the last I ever saw Ben.
Okay, that was about 4 months ago.
Yeah.
She came down. You see him? Did you see her take him out of the? Okay, she just said, I'm going to get Ben,
She said, "I'm
take him
gonna
upstairs, make him better.
Yeah, I never saw her take him up or anything like that. But she said she was...
Did you remember the next day of not seeing him?
Oh, yeah, I remember not seeing him the next day.
Did you ask about him?
No, oh, no.
Okay.
But she said she was going to take him upstairs. And like I say, you don't ask her questions unless you want to get in trouble.
Okay. So you didn't see him the next day. So then how many days later did you go up in the house and you started smelling this awful smell?
I'd say 4 days at the most.
4 days later?
Yeah.
You smelled what you thought
Death.
was death.
Yeah.
Now, your prior experience led you to believe this.
Yeah.
And what's your prior
Well,
experience?
I worked for the Kansas City Mortuary Service, and we handled any body that wasn't claimed, and a lot of bodies that were claimed would come to us, were brought to us for embalming. But anything the city picked up, for instance, they got a guy that had killed himself about a year before that and laid out in the field with a shotgun between his legs.
Mm-hmm.
But we got him, but we got just bones, and that's all. But we got an Indian one day that had lain under a bridge, dead so long that the rat had eaten his fingers and his toes.
So you're familiar, and you've gotten people with that smell. You're familiar with that smell. And when you went up there about 4 days later, and it was coming from that room off the kitchen.
Yeah, you couldn't smell it any other place.
Right there was strongest.
Right there, strongest. You didn't smell it close to the bathroom. You didn't smell it in the hall. In the stairway. I didn't smell it in my room downstairs.
But it was strong.
Right there in the kitchen.
When you asked her about it, what'd she say it was?
I didn't ask her.
Oh, you just remembered it.
Yeah, but she mentioned the smell herself.
What'd she say about it?
I said she's trying to get the smell out of the room that was coming from the sewers down below. She said she shampooed the carpet numerous times.
Did she say how many times?
She said 8 or 10 times. But I heard her using the shampoo machine quite often up there.
Okay, and then what? Then we'll keep going. What happens then after? But you don't see Ben anymore.
Oh, I never saw
Did you ever
Ben.
ask what happened to him?
Well, I thought I saw him walking by one time.
How long ago was that after that?
Probably a month and a half.
Okay, and you hadn't seen him?
Oh, hadn't seen him at all.
So then you thought you walked by and you mentioned it to...
Mentioned it to Dorothea, and she said, oh, no, it couldn't have been him because he's way up north.
Okay, and then nothing...
Nothing.
Then when did Bert move in? Was Bert already staying there?
Yeah, Bert was there. He's been there quite a while.
Okay, so then Ben ends up, and then how long after that does you see Mr. Montoya disappear?
Well, it's probably 2 months.
2 months
Yeah,
ago.
because it's been about 2 months ago. Yeah.
And when did you last see him?
I'm trying to think if I saw him on Friday night. I believe I saw him on Friday night, and then Saturday he was gone. Because she mentioned it the first thing Saturday morning that Bert had left for Mexico. And I thought it strange that she would, he would leave that early in the morning for Mexico. Because I had my car, and I've always offered, to do trips for her to save her cab fare.
Mm-hmm.
And once in a while she'll have me go to the store or something. And I thought if she's going to send him to Mexico, she would probably ask me to take him down to the depot. But she never said anything to me. She just said that she's in Mexico.
And he's been gone ever since?
Yeah.
Okay, and then was there now you mentioned some digging in the backyard. You say there was some concrete in there? The concrete, how long ago was the concrete poured?
Oh, it's been poured in 2 months. Maybe.
That's on both sides of the slab? And the shed on the side?
Yeah, the one closest to the street was probably poured 2 weeks before the one.
And you'd say how many, about 2 months?
2 months to 2.5 months. I hate to be pinned down. You can read it on time.
But it wasn't like the March or anything this year?
No.
Okay.
That kid that poured it probably would be able to tell you exactly.
Which kid? Was that one that was there?
I'm staying out there now.
He's the one who poured it down?
Him and another parolee.
Okay. Let's see. And there was a trench in the one where the trees are.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one closest to the garden.
Yeah.
There was a trench, L-shaped.
Yeah. It went all the way up front of that utility shed,
Mm-hmm.
and then over alongside the fence.
Okay.
I'd say 4 to 5 feet alongside the fence, and the complete front of it, you built
But you don't know who dug it?
Those same guys,
Same guys.
the ones that worked on the slab. It was this young kid and another real heavy set guy that was working with him. Like I say, both of them was from that halfway house.
Okay.
And I think
And that's the kid that was in that red T-shirt today?
I think he's the one that dug the one out underneath that back shed too. Seemed to me like he dug that hole. I'm not positive, but yes, he did. I know he did. He dug that hole.
Okay. So he's been doing a lot of work for her on and off last
He has. He's
so many months.
Yeah. Probably the last 4 months or more.
He'd just come and dig the holes and that would be it, or would he bury him, or he'd just dig the holes?
Well, he'd dig the holes. I never did see anybody fill them in. I don't know who filled them in.
So then they were filled in and covered up?
Yeah. I have no idea who filled
Okay.
them in.
Now Bert is gone. That's Mr. Montoya. So the time goes on and you don't see him, and then now all of a sudden, what comes to light? What happens now? What brings Bert up again?
Oh, that...
The outreach volunteer, social worker?
Yeah, social worker.
Okay, when did she contact you?
She didn't contact me
Uh-huh.
until after the police had been out there.
The police come and talk to you?
Yeah. What's his... wait a minute. He was a sergeant in uniform. I'm not sure what his name is. But I explained to him that I couldn't talk to him there in the house.
Okay.
Because I didn't want anybody to hear me.
Okay.
So I met him at the drugstore, and we drove down the
Now, was that before or after she told you to lie?
Oh, that was after.
When did she tell you you were going to have to lie?
Saturday.
Okay, what did she tell you exactly?
She just said, John, I'm going to ask you to lie for me today. She said, I think I'm going to jail. And she said, the police are coming out. And she said, I want you to tell them that I was gone Thursday and Friday. And that you saw Bert on Saturday. And she said,
And you knew you hadn't seen him for over 2 months?
I knew I hadn't seen him. And she said, I'll make it well worth your while.
And that was this past week?
Yeah.
This past week, so it'd be like, yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
And when was that? Last what? Friday or Saturday? She told you that.
Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Wasn't it Saturday when the police first came out there?
Okay.
It seemed to me like it was Saturday. I believe it was. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Anyway, the police, that sergeant came out, and we went down and parked by Lucky's store, and he asked me my name, and I told him John Sharp. He said, oh, you're the one that Judy, the social worker, said I should talk to. Then when I knew, then he told me that she had called in.
Okay, then you got a hold of her?
And I got a hold of her.
You told her kind of what you're telling us, that, hey, Ben disappeared?
Yeah. What I wanted to do is I was asking her to find me a place to stay right quick.
Okay, now you say that she said that the only reason we told her that, you said, hey, we told her that she asked you to do. And she says, no, he was just mad at me because I kicked him out. And now she kicked you out because you were giving her a check to pay. Is that the only reason she was kicking you out?
Oh, yeah.
You wrote her a check to pay for your
my
rent. She says, no, I want cash.
Yeah. See. Just bear with me.
Yeah, no problem. And she said, I'm not taking a check, and get the heck, and move your stuff by the 13th.
She said, I'm not taking your check. She said, I don't want your damn check, and be out of here by the 13th. There's the check.
For $500.
Yep.
Now, what did that encompass, $500?
$350 for the rent and $150 that I owed her. That may be the phone number I've been hunting for.
Okay, and that was on the 3rd you were trying to give her that. Was it on the 3rd, 11/3?
Yep.
Okay, and she says, no way. No, I'm not taking your check. And get out of here by the 13th.
Yeah. Now, that was the day that Homer left, too,
Okay.
Because I know he left that night or early the next morning, but I didn't personally see him leave, but I'm sure that he did, because, after she racked him the way she did, I wouldn't have stayed there. But she said, I don't want your goddamn check. It cost me money every time I had to get it cashed. And every time I'd give her a check, I'd ask her about, if it was costing any money. I said, I'll pay you for it or pay you cash. She said, no, I just take them over to the bar and and they take care of them for me. So it didn't cost her anything. And it shouldn't cost her anything anyway, because all she had to do is put it in the account. Put in her checking account, it don't cost you anything.
Yeah. So anyway, she asked you to move out now, but that's the only reason.
Yeah.
You weren't disgruntled about that. Now,
No,
was it
I
after
wasn't.
that? Was it after that, or before that she told you to lie? It was after that.
After that.
And then after she boots you out,
Then she comes to me.
she comes down last Saturday on the 5th. That would be the 5th of November, and says, John, I'm going to ask you to lie for me. Tell the police I'm going to jail. I think I'm going to be arrested, right? Tell the police that I've been gone 2 days, and you just saw Bert Saturday, today. And she said she would make it well worth your while.
Yeah.
And what'd you tell her? You said, oh, yeah, okay.
I said, okay.
Okay, and then you haven't talked to her since.
One time,
What happened?
see, the police sergeant, she brought him down to my room.
Uh-huh.
And she was standing there when he asked me if I had seen Bert. And I said, there was a truck here moving stuff, and I think it was Bert. And he went on upstairs with her. Then he came back downstairs about a half hour later. He dig in my pockets again. When he came back downstairs, I handed him this. She wasn't with him.
You mind if can I keep this? If I take the inside out?
Yeah, I need
That's a medical,
Yeah, I need
well, this will be returned to you.
I just got my
Okay.
dental appointment.
This is what you showed the officer right here. She wants me to lie to you. And then when he showed you that, when you showed the officer that, what did...
Okay, he turned my television up because you can hear everything in my room from there. And he turned the television up, and I told him that I'd like to talk to him, but not there, someplace else. And he said, I'll meet you down at the drugstore. It was 11:45. He said, I'll meet you down at the drugstore on the corner at 12 o'clock.
Do you remember the sergeant's name?
Now, wait a minute. Let's come up with something here. Maybe it's got his name on it, maybe it doesn't. He gave me this.
Now, was he a sergeant or just a regular officer? Do you remember his name? Was it Ewing? Was he a young man?
I don't know. Yeah, he was young.
Okay.
But he may not have been a sergeant. I presume he was.
He was in a uniform, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think somebody said he was a sergeant. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe she asked me what the sergeant did or something, but I didn't pay attention to whether he had stripes on his sleeve or not. But I explained to him that I was moving then.
Okay.
He gave me this and the case number. He said, call it in when you move. And give me your address in case they won't talk to you.
Okay. And then that's the last you talked to Dorothea. Did she confront you anymore after that?
Well, then she came down, after the second time, that he talked to me. She come down, she said, what did I don't know if she said policeman or officer or whatever, but she said, what did he ask you? I said, he asked me the same question he asked before when you was down here. That was all I was doing.
What'd she say?
Turned around and walked away.
Now, have you talked to her since this whole thing has hit?
Not since then. I said a word to her. But that isn't uncommon. I mean, I'd go by a week and never say anything to her anyway.
Okay, we're going to take the check and this, and we'll hang on to it. We're going to book it as some evidence.
I probably got the other half of the check somewhere around.
Well, if you can find it, let me know. But that's the date that you gave it to her. But then she came back on the 5th and asked you to lie for her. And this is what you wrote the officer.
Yeah. And I wrote another one. I guess I wrote him a note too, telling him I didn't want to talk in there. Mr. Brown.
No problem.
Okay. All righty. Let's see what they've got going.
Just get out here. Right there, relax. Here. I think that's fine.